Alright, wow, I guess we're going to go into this next territory. You might want to speak on this as well. Now, what do you think about digital? Yeah, he's ready for it. Look, he's ready for this conversation, so I know you got some good input on this. Digital distribution on comics.
That is the death of comic book collecting.
Thank you. Oh, sweet Jesus, man.
That you're right. That as soon as they do it, it's over. There's no collecting
No,
whatsoever.
and I want to hold
Nothing.
the damn book though. That's just, I mean, I want to hold the book. I want to take it.
I always felt certain pride when I bought a comic and I hold it and I'd flip each page gently and I'd
Turn
read
the
the comic
page,
before I
wash your hands.
slid it back into its bag and backing board and added it to the collection, and that's gone.
I don't want to hand
yeah.
somebody my $150 iPod when I say, hey, read a comic book. You know what I'm saying? It's
Right.
like, here,
Have
read
to
a comic.
sit and look at a screen
That's
every
not
time you want
cool.
to look at it. No, it's just not right.
Yeah, so we have
And I can
there
throw a
be no
comic up
more
on my drawing table and be like, wow, that's what I'm going for. This is what I'm going to do.
It's the same thing that it is with video games. You've got everything on a hard drive, everything on a console. It's not the same as having the original.
Yeah,
Just
that's
don't
how
wanna
it
better
focus.
unplug your computer and thunderstorms and stuff. Like, oh, I lost the whole
I'd be
hard
savagely
copy of
mad.
X-Men
I'd be
or
savagely
whatever.
mad.
Oh, wow,
Yeah.
yeah, we know
Hey,
this from
they're offering
experience.
online comics from Marvel right now for like $4.99 a month, and oh, it's killing me. I mean, the old stuff, that's cool, but
That's
it's
the
just-
stuff that they won't reprint.
I'm thinking so. I'm
They
thinking
just-
like,
That would make
but
sense.
that's
That would be
burning
cool.
a hole in the dollar bin added like alter
Not
ego
even then.
places.
It's like the whole reason collecting even started was because of, what was it, World War, one of the wars started, and they ended up getting rid of all the World War II, so I thought, and they got rid of all of the comic books, to recycle the paper so they can use it again, so that chopped out like a good chunk of those books that had really great stories that these kids grew up with, and because of that, it started the collecting, and it's just been downhill ever since. It's like you want to get the book out to as many people as possible. You want to get the story out to as many people as possible, which is great. But when you ruin the format, that's when it's
Start
all.
catering to the digital age more than
Right.
the collector.
See, and the thing
Yeah,
is,
that's
the
the
reason
idea,
that
to collect
that
it.
might not, go. I mean, we know they're trying to go do it anyway. Is with the comic book market, it's kind of weird. Even though we try to get new comic book readers and stuff, we are the comic book market. So these people that are reading comics aren't necessarily, and I wouldn't say digitally ready. They're not into that. They're like, they go to a store to purchase. Like you would go to a store to purchase your video games. They're used to that. They're used to going, to a store to purchase their comic books, and it's the same people that's been reading for either 10 plus years or 20 plus years and so on.
Right.
So for them, like for someone new to say, oh well, they're part of the PS3 market. No, you can download Ultimate Spider-Man. They don't know what you just told them.
See, the problem is,
the
problem is there's those kids who are like on computers or like on the PS3 or whatever, surfing the internet, and they watch the Spider-Man movie or whatever, and they're going to buy like a few comics digitally. So Marvel and DC are probably just like, okay, we'll give to them. Now, if they're trying to keep comic books open and keep printing them, I got no problem with them digitally distributing
Right.
a certain amount of comic books or whatever.
You're saying,
But it's going to be cheaper. So eventually people who don't really like collect, I'm not a collector. I just read everything. I just don't, I mean, you see in my bedroom, they're all over the
We
floor.
buy whatever.
You would cry.
We love the
see it,
but
you would
we're
cry.
more of the art.
I don't want to see
art
it then.
No.
So
But the thing is, this last week or the week before, Marvel released its first digital comic solely on their digital distribution, and it starred the Hulk and Nick Fury, and this was the movie editions.
Oh, that's foul. Yeah.
So they're tying in with the movie, just as you were saying.
Yeah, man.
well, there you go.
It's a digital media that they're going to, I mean, they made a...
They have a
Well, it
satellite where they
proves
listen to
what I
everything.
said
he
earlier
says.
about the video games. If they want to do it, they're going to do it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You don't
Even
have
if
to
it
support it. You
fails-
don't have to like it. And it may be terrible for the retail side of the industry, but they don't care about that. When it comes right down to it, they are just a corporation, and they are
Looking
about
for
the bottom
profit,
line.
yeah.
Yep.
And when you don't have to actually produce a physical product, all you have to do is just release the content that you
Full
already
color
had
printing on
digitally.
glossy paper. Yeah.
And it's easy.
Unless it runs like Vista, and then that will shatter that market down, and it'll come crash.
Well, I stopped reading Top Cat because they had a little thing a long time ago, but you click on a page and it's just like, just turn. It's like,
That was like Windows 98 or something.
Yeah, well,
But
We were
still-
dial up
but-
then.
but
it was
Okay.
horrible,
We're in
man.
the
but
high speed
still.
world now. Wi-Fi it up.
I'm not
Hey,
my
look,
computer.
when we know if they start, and this is very rumor here, if they start charging bandwidth of internet,
I hope not.
No,
I heard
believe me,
that too.
the digital arrow is not going to fly by. Oh, I can download
I'm
my
just
game
gonna cut
because
off my
bandwidth cut off.
It's
and
over for that.
I'm downloading God of War 3 and I'm not getting it because
There's no way online gaming, Xbox, PS3, and the Wii should just nip that in the bud. Because if Time Warner does that, nobody's
Or
gonna
any
be
other
playing
cable
online for 8 hours anymore.
Right.
It's
It
over for
can't
that.
happen. You can't afford it.
No, it's gonna be like $400. You know.
It'd be like calling the 1-900 numbers back in the 80s. Peanut.
what?
Nothing.
Okay,
All I'm saying.
I did it because the friendship.
Justice.
Remember we had to call to get
What?
get codes.
Yeah.
You remember that?
I thought you were going
To
to
get
go
that-
with
1-800.
to get the
Yeah,
code
I
to-
didn't even know
to
1-800.
do whatever.
They charged you for it. Yeah.
You want to know how to get that star? Hang on for another 15 minutes. What?
I gotta look it up.
Do,
Okay.
do, 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 do.
Wasn't no internet though. Now we're just like, okay, IGN.com.
You're singing with your mouth.
Magazines too weren't that huge either back in the day. There was like 2 or 3 game magazines. Most of those catered to the PC market too.
Yeah, your
So-
Nintendo Power. I think that
Yeah.
was.
And man,
That's
PC
about it.
gaming was
The
fantastic. when
EGM
it
hit
was,
later on. and-
Yeah, the early or late 80s, early 90s for EGM. That's when Sega started picking up. So it wasn't just licensed Nintendo stuff.
The only thing I thought
That's
would
wild.
be cool about that is it is kind of neat that it on a Wii or PS3 or an Xbox that a new group could be reading comics, but I still don't think it's going to pick up the way they want to. I think for us that's
Yeah.
They're going to be wondering why they're looking at it on a TV screen and it's just a
Yes.
bunch of panels.
yes.
Like, man, what is going on?
Why
These
doesn't
guys
this
ain't
move?
moving.
Yeah, why aren't
That's
they
why.
talking
That's
and
why
moving?
video games are killing comic books. You know, I'm gonna say that, and then digital.
That's
You know,
another war
the digital
for
download is killing.
Video games, yeah.
Well,
That's-
they do have that.
that
Did you
is-
read the new Watchmen with the
Oh,
movement stuff?
It's on the 360, yeah.
Wow.
They have the actual like a moving panel page of Watchmen. Yeah, it looked really stupid, so I didn't bother. I mean, I have
Like
the
your
book
wah,
Watchmen.
wah, wah.
All right, I wasn't there to pick up the issues, but I was there to pick up the trade paperback and enjoy it. Which you can probably check that video out on our webpage. I actually did a review.
See, I just
It was really cool, but you know, that is kind of weird. It's like, you know, I'm with you on this that video games are ruining the comic book market because back when we were kids, we didn't have these video games with these great stories that they have now. We had
Nope.
comic books that had these great stories.
and the video games
now-
are just like Mario.
And those video
Yeah,
game
now
people
they're
know they
interactive.
read.
If you could buy the comic and have it in your hand, it's you're talking literature versus a video game. But yeah, when you put the comic book on a screen, it becomes something less than it is.
But
Yeah, it's just.
the people that read
It's just a
the
picture
comic book
stuff.
stuff, they're
Yeah.
all
What
those
you do
people are
is
the
a
people
picture.
making video games today.
Right.
Come
Yeah,
on, those
but-
stories ain't. I mean, I'm not trying to say they're unoriginal, but they're unoriginal.
Oh, that
so.
don't
Yeah, no, right, exactly.
Everything's been done. Come on now.
So, no, I'm just saying.
Yeah, it's just an interactive experience on the video game that gives you the same like story that you enjoyed when we were a lot younger. You know, that these kids now just they don't see that option anymore. You don't see a lot of kids getting into
I
comics.
just wish I was
'cause
born
it doesn't
20
move,
years
It
ago.
doesn't talk to you.
If this was
You
gonna
can't
happen in
interact with
comics.
it. You know, you read it, and kids hate reading for some reason. I don't understand.
I just like comics because you can
I
take
mean, it
them
was better.
anywhere. But now you got the PSP and
It was bad enough at the birth of comics. I mean, you know, reading books. I mean, this book doesn't have pictures in it. What's up with that? You know. Now we're at the point where it's like, what? This story doesn't interact with me. I can't do anything with
I
this.
don't have a
What's up with
controller.
that?
What does this do?
Another 10, 20 years, you know, we're going to be quoting Back to the Future too. What, you had to use your hands? Is it like a baby's toy?
And during that, we'll do another episode 10 years later where we're wearing the orange. You know.
I am not wearing those outfits, Peter. No, I do not look good in spandex. That's why I'm a normal guy, not a
Yes,
Look at
superhero.
Dino hats.
yes.
good.
I might do the flower pot thing on that.
Keyboard, how quaint.
Yeah. This is a dustbuster.